Hi, today is about One Done Eyeshadows. I have quite a few because I really like this style of eyeshadow. It's effortless and it's like very chic. Also, it's very easy. It doesn't require any technique as long as your formula is good. So yeah, let's just start right away. I feel like the easiest option is these stick eyeshadows, and like you can see I have a lot of them. For those of you that want matte eyeshadows, matte cream eyeshadows, I really like these NUDESTIX ones, and I have two shades, Terra and Chocolate. Basically these are just matte eyeshadow in a cream form. You might say why use a cream? Why not just use a powder? Because I feel like cream is way easier. It doesn't require any brush. So if you don't want to use brush, you can just kind of draw this on your eyelid and kind of tap it in, and it's very easy to blend. Well, now it's set in the place when I was talking, but if you just freshly apply it on your skin and blend, it blends very easily, as you can see, and it sets in the place and lasts long. So even if you don't really apply eyeshadow primer, this gonna last longer than a lot of powder eyeshadows if you don't use eyeshadow primer or anything underneath those powder eyeshadows. So yeah, this is my first favorite formula. I don't know if they have any shimmery ones, but yeah, I only have these two matte ones. This is from Bobbi Brown. This is a small little mini version. This is also matte, but I have had shimmery ones from them in the past. It's very nice as well, and as you can see, it's way more pigmented than the NUDESTIX one. The NUDESTIX one is kind of natural, on the natural side, but you can see this is very blendable and it's very creamy, and it sets in the place. There was eyeshadow Declutter, and I swatched a lot of these stick eyeshadows, and of course I went on talk about other eyeshadows. After I finished filming the video, I go to the sink to wash down all of the swatches. Literally, these won't come off my skin. It's that strong. I used soap, I used oil cleanser, I used everything, and it's still stained a little bit. It sounds a little scary when you're applying it on your eye, but when you apply it on your eye, it's a light layer blended, so it's gonna easier to come out rather than I'm just swatch a very solid swatch and let it fully dry it. So don't worry about that. But yeah, it's very long lasting. And in the past I have had the shimmer ones, like I mentioned. Those were very beautiful as well, but I decluttered those because I had these ones. These are from By Terry. I think now they still sell these, but it was in a different packaging, but I believe the formula is the same. These are all so beautiful, shimmery formulas. I feel like the shimmery formulas just works the best as a one and done eyeshadow because it looks like more than one eyeshadow. It still gives you a depth because there's a base color into it, but also because the shine or the sometimes even glitter in it, there will be this light heat on the center of your eyelid, gives the illusion that you applied more than one eyeshadow and gives the illusion that you worked very hard for that eyeshadow look. And let me show you. This is very creamy, and by the way, I have had these for years. It was still so freshly new. The formula hasn't changed even a little bit. And I don't know how I can show you. Did you see that? How creamy is that? This center shade is Misty Rock, which is the one that I love the most. Okay, the third shade is Frozen Quartz. Frozen Quartz is very, very beautiful as well. It's like a lighter bronzy shade, like a taupe. Can you see how can you see how pretty that is? I have no words. Let's blend these a little bit because there's glitter in these formulas, and blending it sometimes will make you see the glitter better. These are already dried a little bit, so I'm not gonna be able to fully blend it. Can you see this way? I think this way you can see the shine a little bit better. These are so beautiful. They are so expensive as well, but it can last you for such a long time. Really, like a tiny bit goes a long way, and it's so hard to remove. Like I'm literally wiping so hard, and I think you can see there's a lot of glitter. Now I've wiped most of the cream base off of it, right? It's so pretty. And sometimes I just I can also use this as like a glitter topper if I just apply on the center of the eyelid and like blend it away, blend it out. Okay, I'm just really fighting for my life to remove these. The next is Colourpop. I think a lot of people has mentioned Colourpop Super Shock line. It's for a good reason. They are really so beautiful. I have set to Stun and Vela. I don't know if these shades are still available or not, but as long as it's this kind of formula, it all works pretty well as a one and done eyeshadow. You can see they have like a pretty base color, but they also have the shine, and it's so beautiful. Actually, these are not the most frequently used ones in my collection, but yeah, these are like one of the most affordable but still great formula. But there's one thing about this I don't like is it dries out pretty quickly. You have to either use them up pretty quickly, which is kind of hard because they are so pigmented, even though they don't have that much product, like 2.1 grams in here. But yeah, for an eyeshadow, it's hard to use up, or you will have to buy something like the Inglot Duraline to keep rehydrate these, and that way it will last for like way longer. But it's kind of a little bit annoying, but yeah, it's affordable at least. And also, did anybody notice that Colourpop is continuously, secretly raising their prices? Like they never announced that, but like giving it a couple months and I go back, I just find the price went up a little bit. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, that's what I thought. So the last cream one that I'm gonna mention is from Tom Ford. These are already discontinued if I'm not mistaken, but they are so beautiful if you can still find them. They're not like the most shiny formula, but these are just such a chic kind of formula. It has like very fine glitter in it. All of the shades are very variable shades and they blend very easily. And this formula lasts for a long time. I had this jar for years and you can see how much I have used it. And it's still like, it feels just, the formula just feels the same as when I was first opened it. So yeah, even though it's super expensive, I still, if they ever relaunch this line, I would maybe repurchase if I ever run out. And I think they probably will relaunch this line, because right now I believe there's no cream eyeshadow available in their whole brand. So I think they might going through a rebrand phase. I don't know, but yeah, I think they are gonna relaunch this because there's no way they're gonna completely discontinue this whole line. The rest of these are all powder eyeshadows. Bobbi Brown Luxe Eye Shadow Rich Metal. These are very, very metallic eyeshadows. They are also a little bit glittery. It's that kind of eyeshadow that it has a base color, but it also has a lot of texture to it. Yeah, I think you can tell there. It's so pretty. It's not overly glittery for a One and Done eyeshadow. Well, on the back of my hand. And you can see they're not overly glittery, right? It still has a nice base color and just right amount of shine. I really like this formula. And I have two shades, Melting Point and Heat Ray. The Heat Ray is this like warmer one, and Melting Point is this more peachy one. I love both. And sometimes I use them as topper as well. It works in that way as well. The next is SURRATT. It's a palette, but they are sold as a single, and I'm talking about this shade. I forgot what this shade name is, but I'm gonna put it somewhere on the screen. It's not as dramatic as something like this Bobbi Brown, but it's more of like the powder form of this Tom Ford cream eyeshadow. It's more on the subtle and chic side, and it blends so pretty. It just never goes like very patchy or anything. And if you love something like very subtle, very pearly, subtle kind of finish, I think you might love this. It's very expensive, but yeah, it's like a luxury, very luxury brand. The next is this CANMAKE little palette. It's a palette, but I'm talking about this shade particularly, and you might can tell that I used a big chunk of it, like it has a big dent into it. It's such a pretty shade. Like it's a very similar formula to the SURRATT one, but I think this color I prefer a little bit more than the SURRATT one. This is like everything kind of brown. It's a little bit pinky, it's a little bit warm, but it's also a little bit taupey, but it's not too much of any of those. I just feel like this is a very easy to pair kind of shade. It pairs well with any color, any other colors, because it literally has a little bit of everything in it, and it's very like natural kind of shade. I find this shade very hard to find, and I really love the undertone of it, and the formula is very nice as well. It doesn't last as long as some high-end eyeshadows. That's one problem, but it's literally a couple of dollars, and it's very the formula is nice other than the lasting power of it, and it also has this like very, very pretty glitter in it, and yeah, I think it's totally worth it. And the next is another Japanese brand, Addiction. I also made this little palette, and their shimmer formula is so fine as well. I'm not talking about a particular shade, I'm talking about this formula. It's like very smooth, easy to blend, and it has a lot of like very chic, very easy to use shades, easy to pair shades. And yeah, I really love their formula, their shades as well. And it's not too expensive. At least in Japan, it was 2,200 yen, which is under $20. I mean, like $18, $19 for a single eyeshadow is still expensive, but it's not as expensive as something like this, right? So yeah, I still think I really recommend to check out this line, and they have so many shades. I think they probably have like 99 or something, or maybe over 100 shades, and a big number of them are shimmery shades. And the last one I'm talking about is actually a quad. It's the SUQQU Quartz. I'm also not talking about a particular shade. I'm just talking about in general. In general, the third shade, like the shade usually under this glitter pack, is a very good one and done, like shimmer pearly kind of shade. And I usually, a lot of time I use the quad, I probably just reach for this shade and blend it all over my eyes. I think you can see the formula. It's like so smooth, kind of pearly shade, but it still has some depth, so it like works really well as a one and done shade. And this is another, the last one I was swatching is 02, and this is 04. And again, this shade, it's so pretty. This is a rosy shade. Can you see how pretty that is? I love all of these formula, and when I want to do a one and done eyeshadow look, I reach for them a lot. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.